packaging, all at prices you can afford. And in the winter, they do plowing with the same high-quality, low-cost approach. Sign up now by calling 802-249-6702 and check them out on Facebook. Central Vermont's best 5 Seasons Landworks.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is coming to South Burlington. My name is Myers Ramel, president of the Ethan Allen Institute, inviting you to join us to hear Robert F. Kennedy Jr. over dinner on June 21st. This is an educational event, not a political event. Tickets start at $100. VIP meet and greet tickets available through sponsorship. Details found at www.ethanallen.org. Join us over dinner to hear Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
The Brady Farkas Show is produced and funded by WDEV and the Radio Vermont Group. We welcome listener feedback. Email your comments to wdev@radiovermont.com.
Energy. So the barber trims my beard all nice, like an artist. Now, I didn't tell him to do that. I wanted the beard gone. So then I went home and shaved it off completely after I was done. I felt horrible.
The passion.
Rafael Devers is the biggest contract in franchise history. He needs to be a leader for this Red Sox team.
The opinions on all your favorite teams.
Are the Patriots close to playoff contention? Yes. Are they close to Super Bowl contention? Hell no.
This is the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday here on the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM and FM, WDEVradio.com. We're brought to you by Fecto Homes, your total home solution in Montpelier. We're streaming online where you can watch us there on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live as well. Also, on my Twitter account. You can get in always, 802-585-3026. It is the Ayers Auto text line, the Ayers Auto text line. We got a lot to get to, just 30 minutes to do it. We're on 5:30 to 6. Then the Red Sox and the Yankees get going for the first time this year at Yankee Stadium. First time this year anywhere. Both these teams coming off losing 2 out of 3 games to their previous opponent. Sox clobbered yesterday by Cleveland. The opening thoughts on the Brady Farkas Show are brought to you by Sticks and Stuff and Swanton Lumber, Vermont's most complete locally owned home center with locations in Enosburg, Derby, Middlesex, St. Albans, and now at Rouse's Point, New York, and online at sticksandstuff.com. All right, a lot of injury stuff today. I want to start here with some local sports news. Just devastating news for the UVM women's basketball team. The release came out about 2 hours ago that Shelburne native, CVU product, and UVM point guard Catherine Gilwey is going to miss the entirety of the upcoming UVM women's basketball team season. We don't know exactly what the injury is. The press release from UVM says lower body injury. I have ideas of what that means. I will not speculate it here on the air because you don't do that with injuries, but nonetheless, she's going to be out the entire season. This is a critical loss. This is a critical loss for UVM women's basketball. And I can't put into words how big a loss this is for them for a couple of different reasons. One, this team that won the conference, that broke the door down, won the conference tournament, won the title game on their home floor, got the number 1 seed, and got to the NCAA tournament. This team is bringing back all 5 starters. All 5 starters are supposed to be back for this team, and now Catherine Gilwey is not going to be there. Emma Utterback will, Delaney Richardson will, Bella Vito will, Anna Olsen will, but Catherine Gilwey will not be, and that is a huge loss. I know someone's out there saying, Brady, they're bringing back 4 starters. You really can't handle the loss of one. Not this one. This is a loss that I feel like is almost impossible for this team to overcome. Catherine Gilwey is the straw that stirs the drink for the UVM women's basketball team. Look, Delaney Richardson is excellent down low. Anna Olsen is excellent down low. Emma Utterback has by far the most athleticism on the UVM women's basketball team. They are all huge. Bella Vito is a great defender and gets after it, playing defense, rebounding, does the little things. Catherine Gilwey is the architect of all of it. And as I really started to focus on this team last year, midway through the season and on, it became clear that she's the architect of it. Okay. Her ability to see the floor, her ability to pass, her ability to handle the ball. No one can do that of who I just mentioned. Right? All those other players play their roles very, very well. None of them are point guards. And Catherine Gilby is a point guard in every sense of the word. She's a floor general. She handles the press. She dribbles the ball. When she's not on the floor, the team is not as good, simply put. So if you're looking for the idea again next year of UVM men and UVM women getting to the tournament, it just became a whole hell of a lot harder today. And I hate to be so doom and gloom, considering that 4 starters are coming back and they're all going to have experience. They're all really good and they're all going to be upperclassmen. But that's how important Catherine Gilby is. She makes everything go. Emma Utterback gets in good spots a lot of times because of her. Delaney Richardson gets in good spots a lot of times because of her. Same for Ann Olsen. And if there is one criticism of the UVM women's basketball team, it's that they have not been very deep. The last few years, they have not been very deep. Now, I've asked Elisa Kresge, the head coach at UVM, about that a couple of times in the last few years. And to her credit, they are working on getting deeper. But they really only go about 7 deep. This is not a situation where I can sit here and say, oh, next woman up. I can't say that. Now, I don't know everything about the recruits and transfer portal and maybe people on the bench that we didn't see a year ago. I mean, Catherine Gilby kind of came out of nowhere, so maybe somebody can do it this year. But as I sit here today on June 9th, and I'm thinking about next basketball season already, this is bad news, okay? This is bad news. She is that important to this team. And I feel awful for her. I feel awful for the program. I feel awful for those 4 other starters. Look, Delaney Richardson and Emma Utterback came back next year so they can improve upon what they did last year. They could have transferred. They could have graduated. They could have gone to the real world and made money. They could have gone to bigger programs. They wanted to do it here, and it just became a whole hell of a lot harder to do it here. And I feel bad for Catherine Gilby. I feel bad for the community. This is a hometown player. We saw last year how much it meant to the community to have a player to rally around. We saw it with Ben Shungu on the men's team. When you have a hometown hero to rally around, that's a big deal. And now the community doesn't have that. This is a devastating loss on a lot of different fronts. Again, I'm not trying to be hyperbole or to have hyperbole. I'm not trying to over dramatize this. This is a big loss. And I hope that somebody can rise up that I don't know about yet. And I will work to find out about who's next up, and maybe we can get Coach Kresge on next week, but this is not good news. Lower body injury, out for the season. And the fact that, look, the season lasts until March. The season lasts is 9 months from now. There's 9 months available to play. She's already out for all of it. It tells you that it's pretty serious. The only good thing here is that she's going to get an extra year, right? She's going to get an extra year of eligibility. She's going to get a medical red shirt. Maybe she will use that here, but that's the only way that you can look at this as any. That's the only positive you can draw, because this is not good. Elsewhere on injury front, that's not good. Chris Sale, Red Sox. It was last Friday that we found out that Sale was being put on the injured list. It's this Friday we find out not only is he on the injured list, he's now been put on the 60-day injured list. This also is not good news. Chris Sale has what they're calling a stress reaction in his scapula. Basically, it's not a stress fracture. A stress fracture is worse. A stress fracture is actually a fracture, and actually something is broken. But this is a bone issue for Chris Sale. This is not like, a ligament hurts or a tendon hurts. This is a bone issue for Chris Sale. And he is on the 60-day injured list. The earliest he can come back now is August 2nd. I worry that it would be even longer than that. Not good news here either. Bad news. And number one, as I said last Friday, I just feel bad for Sale. Okay, I get it. He signed a big contract. He's barely pitched. Some of you think he's stealing from the organization blind. That's the way the CBA is. You get guaranteed contracts. This happens and it stinks. But I feel bad for Sale. So if you have a snarky comment about the money or the lack of production or how many millions per start he's made, I don't want to hear it. At this point, I just feel bad for the guy. Just like last night, I just felt bad for Corey Kluber. I don't think Corey Kluber is going to be here very long, but I'm beyond the point now of crushing him. I just feel bad for him. He's out there taking it on the chin last night, getting clobbered. This is a guy, this is a two-time Cy Young winner. Corey Kluber was the best pitcher in baseball for a period of years. There was Justin Verlander, there was Felix Hernandez, and there was Corey Kluber. Okay, and Clayton Kershaw. He was in that class, and now, I mean, he's getting rocked. It's embarrassing to watch. I just feel bad for him. And I feel bad for Sale as well. At some point, it stops being funny to point out just how much money he makes and how useless he is. This is 5 years in a row now of consecutive years of serious injury problems. Okay, of serious injury problems. 2018, or 2019 rather, he gets shut down at the end of the year in August, elbow problems. 2020, Tommy John out the whole season, short season, but out the whole season. 2021, out most of the season, coming back from Tommy John. And 2022, last year he's got the illness, we're told. It's a rib cage injury. Did he get hit by the line drive? Did he fractures his wrist? He misses almost the whole season. And this year he's going to end up missing at least half of the season. At least half. It's not funny. It's bad for him. It's bad for the Red Sox because if you're somebody who look, the Red Sox are within shouting distance of the playoffs, and their path to the playoffs just got harder today as well. Okay, the Red Sox are a team that needs everything to go right. What have I told you? What did this is what bothers me. I have gotten the Red Sox like dead right all year. I said they're better than we expected them to be, and here they are. They're right around 500. Okay, but they have a better team than I expected. And I also told you they're a team that needs everything to go right. They'd be very good if everything went right. That's what I said. Chris Sale needed to be durable and good, not durable. Corey Kluber needed to be the Corey Kluber of old and not the guy we're seeing now. Not happening. They need the young guys to play well. Well, Duran has played well. Casas really hasn't. That hasn't happened. They haven't stayed really healthy. They've dealt with injuries everywhere. Duvall's been injured. He'll be back tonight. Arroyo's been injured. He's back now. Sale's injured. Okay? Joely Rodriguez is injured. Joely Rodriguez is injured. Chris Martin was injured a little while ago. Let's see. Who else we got? Yu Chang. We haven't seen Mondesi yet. Story's still out. All of these things needed to happen for the Red Sox to be good, and almost none of them have happened. Okay, they've gotten some good contributions from Duran. Crawford's been nice. The back end of the bullpen with Winkowski has been a good development, and Verdugo's played well, and Yoshida's been good. Devers needed to be great, and he hasn't been great. He's been really good at times and really lousy at times. He's got 3 homers since May 1st or something like that. So another pile on here, bad news for the Boston Red Sox. Okay, texters. Ralph, I feel bad for Sale, even though I'm a Yankees fan. Busting his chops isn't even fun anymore. It shouldn't be fun. Look, this is a guy here who's in his mid-30s, who for 5 consecutive years, look, he was at the apex, right? He was as good as Chris Sale had the best K per 9 of any pitcher in Major League history at one point. He was at the apex. He was like Cy Young votes every year. And now for 5 years, not only is he not at the apex, he can barely stay on the field. How hard must that be mentally? Well, but Brady, no count his money. I get it. Money doesn't always buy happiness. It makes it a little easier to be happy, but it doesn't always buy happiness. So it's not funny to point out about Chris Sale. Peter over in Williston. Reds fans feel the same way about Joey Votto, who never lived up to his huge contract either. It's sad for any player who gets constantly railroaded by injury plague. Joey Votto. Now, I don't have Joey Votto's baseball reference page completely memorized here at the top of my head, but Joey Votto hit like 39 home runs 2 years ago. At least Joey Votto in his contract has had some performance in his contract. I'll pull it up quickly. I didn't think I was going to be doing Joey Votto stuff today, but in 2021, Joey Votto got MVP votes, hit 36 home runs, and drove in 99. Okay? I get it. He has not had great years in all of that contract. 12 homers, 15 homers, 11 homers in the COVID season 2020, 11 homers in 54 games. I mean, so he's at least been on the field during his contract. Chris Sale's barely been on the field. Mark in Essex, what were you saying about Gilwey? I was saying that she's out for the season, and it's a devastating loss. UVM put out the release today. Catherine Gilwey, lower body injury. They didn't specify. I have ideas as to what I think that means, but they're not worth repeating. They're not worth saying until we actually know. But bottom line, Catherine Gilwey, who I believe is an irreplaceable member of the UVM women's basketball team, is out for the season. It's terrible for her. It's terrible for the program. It's terrible for the upperclassmen who came back to chase even better than they got this year. I think Catherine Gilwey is irreplaceable. The problem for UVM has been lack of depth, and those 5 players that start play a whole lot of minutes, and I don't see an easy replacement here for Catherine Gilwey. I don't see an easy replacement there. On the Red Sox roster, we'll get to the lineups here too, at the end of the show here in 15 minutes, but Adam Duvall is back today. That's good. Matt Dermody, the guy we talked about yesterday, has been designated for assignment. Doesn't mean he's going out of the organization. My guess is that he'll end up back in AAA, but he's been DFA'd today to make room for Duvall. So we talked about him yesterday. He pitched. He threw the 4 innings, gave up the 3 runs, the 2 homers to Ramirez. Now he's DFA'd. My guess is that he ends up back in AAA. All right, we'll step aside briefly. I'll come back. I'll stick with the Red Sox stuff. One Baseball Insider last night opened a whole big can of worms about Alex Cora. Could Alex Cora leave the Red Sox? One Baseball Insider really wonders it. I'll tell you what they said next on DEV.
For more than 75 years, a single stage has created thousands of magical summer memories. St. Michael's Playhouse.
I love live theater because you get to feel the emotions firsthand.
It's just full of energy. The energy in the room is unlike anything else.
Those people have talent. They are magical, I guess.
I go because it's live, it's spontaneous, it's engagement, and I get to go with friends.
This summer, the Playhouse returns with Almost Heaven, following the life and times of musical legend John Denver. The zany, magical farce Popcorn Falls, and the warm-hearted and delightful comedy Over the River and Through the Woods. See all 3 blockbuster shows and save 20% by subscribing now. Join us this summer and create lasting memories of your own at St. Michael's Playhouse. For tickets and more information about all 3 shows, go to stmichaelsplayhouse.org.
Do you own land with a single or double wide home? Visit Fecto Homes, where they can guarantee you top dollar for your existing mobile home, regardless of the year. They offer many finance options with competitive rates and down payment assistance exclusively for mobile homes. Fecto Homes has several models for sale off the lot or customize and order your own. Make the most of your time and money. Visit them today at 350 River Street, Route 302 in Montpelier, or online at fectohomes.com.
The WDEV studio is sponsored by Sticks and Stuff and Swanton Lumber, Vermont's largest independent home center, powered by Marvin Doors and Windows. Go to sticksandstuff.com for store locations and hours.
WDEV also serves the Northeast Kingdom at 101.9 W270BR Island Pond.
Hi folks, this is Peter Burke. Join Joel Nashman and me in the garden Saturdays at 12:30. Don't try to do it alone in your garden. Call in with questions, for advice, or just to share your successes in the garden.
Brought to you in part by Menard's family-owned True Value Store, Brooklyn Street, Morrisville. Dawson's Florist Greenhouse and Perennial Farm in Colchester. And Sticks and Stuff in Swanton Lumber, Vermont's largest independent home center. Go to sticksandstuff.com for store locations and hours.
Make your opinion heard by texting onto the Brady Farkas Show at 802-585-3026.
Now it's back to the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
Welcome back in, Brady Farkas Show right here on WDEV AM and FM, WDEVradio.com. Red Sox baseball, 15 minutes from now with the pregame show. We'll get you the lineups before the CBS News update. Okay, Phil in Middlesex says, Brady, you said Duran is playing well. He's not playing well recently. He should be in AAA. Okay, Phil, in general, this year, Duran has provided a positive contribution to the team. I understand he's not being great now, but we asked for young players to step up. I thought Casas would be the guy who stepped up. He largely hasn't. Duran has been the young player who largely has. He was good for the first month, hasn't been great the second month. Does it really matter? If the Red Sox were going to compete way above their weight class in this division, they needed almost everything to go right. Okay? They were a house of cards from the beginning, and this was the problem. I could see the thing that Chaim Bloom was trying to do, but the Red Sox were a house of cards from the start, and that house of cards is toppling, right? They've had the injuries, they've had lack of performance, and that's contributed to them being a very average team. If everyone is healthy, I think they would be far better than we thought. The roster on paper is better than we expected it to be, but with all the injuries and some of the poor performances, on paper, it doesn't really matter. And that's why they are where they are, in last place and under 500 here going into tonight. So, Peter and Williston, if I was the Padres, I'd find a way to offer Alex Cora whatever it takes to be their manager. Let's go to the Alex Cora thing. So, Carl Ravitch of ESPN, right? Sunday Night Baseball, Baseball Tonight, longtime host. He tweeted this out last night about 8:30. It was very, very interesting. He said, the University of Miami, their baseball coach stepped down. I wonder if Miami would call Alex Cora, and I wonder if Alex Cora would listen. Now, what you should know here is that Alex Cora went to Miami and played at Miami and was on the all-tournament team at the College World Series 2 years in a row at Miami and helped Miami get to the national title game in 1996. So Alex Cora has deep ties to Miami. I will say this. One, I believe that Miami should call Alex Cora. Two, I believe that Alex Cora should listen to Miami. But three, I think that Alex Cora should use that to his advantage in some way with the Red Sox. Okay? I think he should leverage Miami somehow with the Red Sox. Let me examine this. It makes absolute perfect sense for Miami to call Alex Cora, right? You always want to shoot for the best. You have an alumni. You have a guy who's won a World Series. You have a guy who knows the culture. You have a guy who is of Latino descent, certainly can be part of the community there in Miami. A guy who I'm sure would have some cachet on the recruiting trail, given his resume at the pro level, his resume at the college level, and having won a World Series. Alex Cora is a very nice guy, a very affable guy. So Miami should call Alex Cora. Alex Cora should listen to Miami, frankly. Okay? It's a Division I college job. It's one of the highest profile jobs that there is. It has some benefits to him, right? He'd have full control at Miami, right? Whereas right now he's got to answer to a lot of different people with the Red Sox and Chaim Bloom and Brian O'Halloran. It's not all his under his control. He'd have full control of Miami. It's also much closer to Puerto Rico, where at least Alex Cora's mother still lives. I'm sure he's got other family in Puerto Rico. It's much, much closer there. So those are real benefits. Now, the things that I think are negative about the job are, one, Alex Cora's daughter now goes to Boston College. So while some of his family is in Puerto Rico, other members of his family are entrenched in Boston. Don't think he'd want to leave that. And college baseball, college sports in general is in a crazy time right now. And I don't know that Alex Cora wants to deal with it. Does Alex Cora want to recruit? I don't know that. Alex Cora wants to coach baseball. Does he want to spend all the time recruiting that's necessary to get Miami to be the top team in the country? Miami's still good. They're just not the best in the country anymore. They're not going to be playing in Omaha this year. Does Alex Cora want to recruit? Does Alex Cora want to deal with NIL? Does he want to deal with the transfer portal? I don't know. Right? Like, there's pluses to the job. There's also a lot of negatives to the job. Like, it is a prestigious job, but with a transfer portal and NIL and his daughter, I don't know. I would listen. And I would listen seriously. And then I would go to Chaim Bloom and I would tell him what I want to tell him. Right? Like, that's what I would shoot my shot if I were Alex Cora. Now, Chaim Bloom can reject that shot. Chaim Bloom could say no. Chaim Bloom could say, you're gone. Go ahead and take the job. He can play the leverage game and get rebuffed and have no choice but to leave. But if Alex Cora ever wanted something from the Red Sox, this would be the time to do it. If they call at Miami and Alex Cora wants to go to Chaim Bloom's office and say, look, I've got another job offer at my alma mater where I love, where I'd have full control, where I'd be beloved. I want you to give me a say on the roster. I want to have a say about organizational stuff. I don't want you breathing down my neck. Whatever he might want, this is the time to go and talk about it. But again, when you do that, you run the risk. Like, I can tell you from experience. When I was in Albany, I was part-time. You've heard this story in parts before. I was part-time. I wanted to be full-time. I wanted to stay in Albany. I got offered a job in Burlington, and I thought it was great. Like, hey, I got offered this job. Now I can go and tell my bosses in Albany, like, hey, I got a better offer here. Step up to the table and make me full-time. And you know what they said? They said, we can't make you full-time. Go and take the job. And I had to leave. Like, I had to leave. Now, it's turned out to be a great decision. I have loved it in Vermont, but that was not my plan at first. My plan was to use Vermont as leverage against Albany to get more money there and to let them make me full-time. They never did it. That could happen to Alex Cora. But if he's ever wanted something from Chaim Bloom or the organization, this is the time to call his shot. Miami should call. He should listen. And then he should be thinking real hard if he wants to go start making some demands from Chaim Bloom. Texter says it's possible that he leaves. So if he did, that shows loyalty or desire. I don't know what, I feel like we're missing a word there, or maybe lack of loyalty. I think Alex Cora wants to be a major league manager. I do. And I think Alex Cora loves managing the Red Sox. But I think he's also got to think, like, is this situation getting better? Like, does Alex Cora think the Red Sox have a real plan, and does he see something getting better here? Because if he thinks the team is stuck in neutral, that would be a point in Miami's favor. If he thinks the team is stuck in neutral and there's something he can do about it of giving greater control, then maybe, again, he goes and pulls the leverage play. But it certainly is an interesting tweet that Carl Ravitch put out there. A very interesting tweet. I think Miami will call him. Sox Yankees for the first time this year. It's mid-June. Sox are 31-32. The Yanks are 37-27. Sox are in fifth. Yankees are in third. Garrett Whitlock against Garrett Cole. Cole's having a great year. 7-0 with a 2.82. Whitlock 2-2 with a 5.61. Alex Verdugo's back in the lineup today in right. Masataka Yoshida's in left. Justin Turner's the DH, hitting 256. Rafi Devers is in third. Adam Duvall, he is back, hitting 455 through those first 33 at-bats, I think it was. He's in center. Tristan Casas is at first. Christian Arroyo's at second. Connor Wong's the catcher, and Kike Hernandez is at shortstop. For the Yankees, DJ LeMahieu's at second. Josh Donaldson at third. He's only hitting 161. Anthony Rizzo's at first. Giancarlo Stanton's back. He's the DH. Jake Bowers is in right. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa's in center. Billy McKinney's in left. Jose Trevino's a catcher. Anthony Volpe is the second baseman. The lineup for the Yankees without Aaron Judge, like, really doesn't look that good. I mean, Donaldson, 161. Kiner Falefa hitting 6th. Billy McKinney. Hey, not so great. Have a great weekend, everybody. The Brady Farkas Show podcast is available as soon as the show is over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and WDEVradio.com. Best of luck to everybody going to and participating in state championship games this weekend. Good luck to everybody who is playing. Have a great weekend once again. And go Sox. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens coming up next here on DEV.
Is WDEV, Vermont's news station, owned and operated by the Radio Vermont Group. From the top